I don't know. I don't know. Where's the freedom?
No, I feel you, dog. Yeah, it definitely gets deep. It definitely gets deep. That's why you got to just keep trying to, like you said, keep adjusting, keep trying to, research ways around things as much as you can. There ain't too many options, but there's a way. You just got to keep digging for it. You know what I'm saying?
There's
I
a way
feel
to
you.
comfortability. You get the comfortability, you good. But after that, you're still gonna always deal with headaches. I gotta pay an electricity bill. That electricity bill is not mine. That's theirs. I gotta pay a water bill. That's not mine, even though water's free. You know what I'm saying? That's theirs. Like, so the freedom only extends to a certain extent where you're comfortable at. Because regardless, you living in their city, you're living in their society where you're using all of their luxuries, their so-called luxuries, even though there are freedoms, but we pay for those freedoms.
No, you're right, dog. No, that's real talk right there.
I thought
It
stop
definitely.
paying for water is stupid. 'Cause it's like it's literally free. Like I understand paying for like the pipes or whatever and that kind of stuff to like get it to you, but like the actual water itself costs money. It's like, wait, what? I don't know.
Wait till
I
you start
always
paying
thought it
for
was
air,
weird.
bro.
I know
Wait till you
Colorado. I
start
moved
paying
to
for air.
Colorado. They passed a law where you can finally collect rainwater. And I was like, wait, you couldn't even collect rainwater? That was a thing? Like you can't
Wait, what?
you can't yeah, no,
Wait,
yeah. Rain
where? What?
collecting
What
rainwater used
state?
to be illegal in Colorado.
No way.
Yeah, and apparently they had to pass a I was just reading about I could be wrong, but like I have read in other states that collecting rainwater is illegal. And I was like, that's so stupid. Like you can't even like get the
That's
rain from the
crazy.
sky? Like what?
That's crazy.
Yo, they love doing games like that, and that's their game. Look, when you open up a business, who do you got to report your business to? Who you got to do everything? Like this is all. That's the problem, bro. The problem is that it's controlled by a certain amount of people. The money was never the issue. It was always that somebody can come in and say, "Yo, you're only worth $15 an hour." That's the problem, bro. You don't get paid for what you do in a company. Like, and these dudes are ciphering people's times and people. It's so much that goes into it, and that's why it's like, bro, this game is rigged, bro. It's rigged for us to fail. And the only thing that you could do is reach a comfortable spot. But you got to reach a comfortable spot, of course, stepping on others. There's no righteous way in this game. Like this game was made for war. It's made to step on each other. There's nobody making it, like there's one good story. You know the guy from Facebook that he used to do all the paintings for Facebook, that little Chinese guy? Like
No,
yeah,
no, I
so
never heard that.
back in the days he used to do a whole bunch of paintings for Facebook's office, like back in the days when they first started. So they paid him in stock. Well, that stock wound up being like worth like $100 million. So this guy was just an artist and he was living his life, and that's so much of a of occasion that he got to actually, make it through art and go live his life and shit. But everybody else that's stuck in this boat, bro, there's so much we got to go through, and there's levels to it too. Like you coming from the hood, you coming from middle class, you coming from high class. Like there's all different ways of and perspectives, and I got to keep my wealth versus I got to accumulate wealth, and but bro, it's the game is meant for us to go crazy.
Yeah, no, you speaking the real, dog. That's real talk, man. Is definitely built against us. Everything, the credit, even the credit score shit, all that shit. It takes forever to build it, but a millisecond for them to knock it back down. You know what I'm
Yo,
saying?
bro, 2 seconds, and you could be doing the right thing. You can say, hey, you know what? I made a little bit of bread right now. I got $45,000 left on my credit score. Say it's on the car, something. I'm gonna knock that out. Boom, you gonna knock that out. Your credit score is supposed to go up. Instead, you take a hit. Like, what kind of fuckery is that for doing the right thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it goes down temporarily for about 6 months because they have to they have a bullshit reason for it. It's because we have to make sure it's legitimate and go through all the bureaus. I'm like, okay, fuck you, dude. Like, no, sorry, excuse my language. I
But
remember reading about it because I'm super into credit score because like I have a good credit. I spent 6 years making it to get to 800, right? So I was just like, yeah, no, you pay off your card or whatever, or if you cancel a card, it's like, oh, now your credit history is not as long. I'm like, well, that's so stupid. I did that mistake once.
Yeah, they want
Yeah,
you
You
to
have a
be
credit
in
card
credit.
open.
They want you to be in debt. They want you to pay that extra percentage on life, even if you have it.
Yeah. Although I've never paid debt on my credit card, I've always paid it off in full, and that's what made it take a lot longer to get to 800 because I never carried a balance.
It's
yeah, it's
crazy.
crazy how that's how they want you to do it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, bro, and I speak from that because like when I before I got the Subaru I got, I built my credit up to like a 749, bro. It took me a minute, and it was during my work week because I was telling my fiance like, you know, now that my credit's better, let's go check out a whip. You know what I'm saying? And bro, I was like, all right, so we're gonna wait until the end of my. I was gonna take a day off, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna just grind through it, and then we'll do it on my first day off. Bro, the day before, I woke up to a notification that some old ass medical bill or something. I can't remember what it was, but that shit knocked my credit down hella far to
Mm.
like six something. And I'm like, what? So anyway, I ended up taking a screenshot before it got knocked down because you know I don't even know if anyone in my family ever got passed up to a seven anything. So, anyways, I go to the dealership and we're looking at whips, and I ended up showing him like, man, this is my credit just like a day ago, and he was like, bro, if you would have came in here with that credit score, you could have walked out with anything you wanted on this lot on this lot. And I'm just like, bro, that shit, it's just crazy, bro, because like when my credit was low, you know, well, I wasn't getting, you know, nothing was happening. But once I started building it, all kinds of old shit tried to start popping up, and all, you know what I'm saying, trying to knock it back down every time I build it up. There was multiple things that would pop up out of nowhere. The more I build it, and I pay it off and get it back going, and especially like, bro, like when that's another thing. Like when you're building your credit, you know what I'm saying. There's a lag when you're making your payments and everything for it to affect your credit positively, but any negative thing will immediately hit your credit, you know what I'm saying, and knock it down within seconds of it popping up. So that's another crazy thing about that whole credit thing.
Yeah, there's a score rating, or it's based on like to get an A on the score, you have to have 99% of your payments to be on time. And so if you get to, let's say you get to 98%, this is monthly payments and it's over a 7-year period. Oh, you're at 98%? Oh, you're automatically a B. Just because maybe you forgot to log in or the transfer took an extra couple days because the banking system sucks. Uh,
This shit
that
is
happened to my dad
bullshit. It's
once.
all bullshit,
Or
bro.
he had to wait 7 years for it to get off his record. It's like, okay, I made a missed payment by a day, and now my score right here is a B because I'm at 98% instead of 99. Oh no.
It's all bullshit. All they do is want to see how good of a person you are at paying money back. That's it. How do you not complain when we hit you for 18%? That's all they care about.
Oh yeah. Another thing I was going to add, the credit, because I'm into everything finance and especially credit and credit scores. One thing I do on my older card, that I have a credit card plan that I've talked about before, but one of my cards, my first cards I still have, and I'll make sure I go and use it at least once every 6 months. And then I pay it off the next day, my balance, just so that Capital One doesn't get the idea of canceling that card because of inactivity. So it's something to think about too. I know that, you know, we're talking about credit and everything, but it's something I always do just to make sure, because you don't want to get hit and have a credit card canceled, because that's going to hurt your credit length, like you're talking about your history.
So you're saying like
Yeah, no,
even
I do that with my first card too.
so you're saying
Yeah.
like, oh my bad. Yeah, so you're saying pretty much like, even so, here's a question. So, like, if you have a credit card, you know what I'm saying, and it's paid off and everything, and it's active though, but you don't use it, so that's not good.
No,
That's
they
what I'm
want you to
talking
use
about.
it.
Yeah, they
They
want.
want you to use
Yeah,
it.
and I don't use it because there's no reason, because it's not a cash back card. So I make sure I go and use it and go to the dollar store and buy something for $1, and then pay off the balance whenever it hits the account the next day, just so they don't delete it and deactivate that card and hurt my history, my credit card history, and lower my score. It's crazy. You got to watch your back with everything.
Yeah, I do something similar too, except for I do it with gas because like I'm gonna get it anyways, and so I fill like $1 worth of like I go to the register or whatever if I need a snack or gas station stuff, and I'm like, oh, can you put $1? And they're like, okay, and then when I'm outside, then I use my normal credit card just so it has a little balance,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I can pay it off. I'm like, okay, and I do that with my very first credit card I had.
yeah, that's
Um,
smart. I usually tell the teller what I'm doing. 'Cause I usually check out something, then I'll say, "Can you check this last thing out on this separate card?" Then I'll tell her what I'm doing, and she's always like, "Oh wow, okay, I've never heard of that. Okay, cool."
That's actually really smart because then you're helping other people and getting them to know that and kind of interested into just finance in general.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, that's good to know, man. Because I got a credit card that I don't even touch, so I might need to start throwing some little dollar balances on it real quick. Get that thing going.
Yeah, they want you to use like at least 20% of whatever the card's worth. They want you to have an outstanding debt so that you could look like an outstanding, you know, slave.
Yeah, that's actually what's hurting my credit scores. My utilization is always super low. I mean, they want you to be below 10%, but I'm always way below 10% because Robinhood gave me an absurd, like, they gave me like a $25,000 credit limit or something. I don't even know what it is. It's 20 something thousand dollars though. And I'm like, I don't spend anywhere near that in a month. Like, what? I don't even know why they gave me that big of a balance. So my utilization is always stupidly low. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, they gave you that big of a
thanks.
balance because they want you to use that shit and get in debt. That's
Yeah, I'm
crazy.
not. Oh, the
Exactly,
Robinhood one is
exactly.
really brutal too, with like how they do their interest stuff. Like if you actually read all their, I'm like, wow, this is like you know how when people are like, oh yeah, they're like 18% or whatever. Like the Robinhood one is like 24% or something. Well, that was when I first got the card. It's probably higher now because interest rates are higher. But I'm like, geez, they're like really trying to get people to like go way above their means, and they base off your balance on your brokerage account size too. And I'm like, I don't know, it's sketchy. Like they didn't even ask for my income. They're just like, oh, okay, like for proof. Like I could have put $1 million in for my income, but like they didn't ask for any proof of it, nothing. They're just like, oh, okay, cool, here you go. I'm like, oh, that's a little sketchy. Okay.
Yeah, that's wild, man. They trying to dangle that forbidden fruit above your head. Like, go ahead, take a bite. You know what I'm saying? So we can bite your ass later.
That's
That's
what it's built
crazy, man.
on. That's what it's built on, bro. They built the world for you to be like shiny objects when shiny objects don't even mean nothing. You FOMO into those shiny objects. They get you on expenses like that. This is all part of their program.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's wild. Yeah, that credit shit's all fucked up, bro. I got so frustrated with that shit, I stopped even looking at it, bro. I deleted the apps and all this shit. I was like, fuck all that. I'm straight. Cause, bro, like I said, it took me a minute, bro. I was so proud I built it up to that 749, and it was knocked down so quick, bro. I was like, oh hell no. Nah. Yeah, you got to find your glitch and your cheat code for sure.
I ain't going front.
If you have anyone that was in the military in your family, Navy Federal has some really good stuff that actually helps you. And you can call an my grandpa was in the military, but you can call an individual person and they'll just explain everything to you like you're five, and like they'll help you with everything, and it's great. I know USAA does something similar. They're just not as good, but if you can get in contact with Navy Federal, if you've been in the military or know family member, highly recommend them
Yeah,
because they
I
really
say the same thing.
help.
Navy Federal is
So
And you
definitely lit.
usually get best interest rates with them.
Facts. Interest rates, bro, car loans, house loans, all types of shit. It's amazing
And they're
and
just so
fast.
nice.
And fast.
They're amazing people, and I'm like, wow, I'm very grateful that my grandfather served in the military.
Oh, so it's got to be a family member too, because my grandpa served. He's a Vietnam vet.
Yeah, so does he have a so you should probably make him open up a Navy Federal account if he doesn't have one.
Oh
That
yeah,
way
he
you can
ain't.
get grandfathered into it.
Yeah, he ain't here no more. So I don't know about if I can do all
Oh,
that.
Nah,
you
but
might
you can
still
get
be able
you can
to.
get a yeah. Everybody has a code. So when you have a Navy Federal account, everybody has a code where you'll be able to onboard family and friends. But now this is the problem. Now they're so friendly and so helpful that if you fuck up with them and you're using somebody's code, you could potentially get banned and the person who gave you that code. So it gets sticky with people giving out codes and shit like that to get you in a Navy Federal, unless you're gonna like really go and do the right thing. But yeah, as of recently, like people been abusing that shit, and Navy Federal have been tightening up on the codes. But the codes are out there, and if you know anybody who has a Navy Federal who could assist you with it, the code is really nothing. But like I said, don't fuck the account up because they'll take the whole team down. Everybody who's on that code will go down.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yep.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's a first for me
Yeah,
hearing about any of that too.
yeah. Like, man, I come from from these big ass cities, bro. So the Navy Federal was one of the biggest scams of last summer. So everybody was hitting them for the codes, running up because you didn't need nothing, bro. And they were cutting checks. Like you needed 100K, they were cutting that check like water. So they were getting the codes, going up there, spoofing whatever information they need, and putting a little $5 in, opening up a bank account, and having 100 racks sent to their bank account in 48 hours. It was crazy. It was crazy. So they had to
Oh,
Yeah,
I
tighten up
that's
on
forgot
that
you had to do
shit.
the $5 thing with them. I
Hmm.
completely forgot about that. I did it when I was like 10 or something like that. My dad made me do it. So
Where so that they need that little. But once you pay that $5, it's like yo, you open up the account, you had the verification of the homie. Everybody was like, yo, you good money, you can come in. So they started cutting checks. They were like, yo, everybody's good, and then they figured out that everybody wasn't that good.
See, that's the messed up thing with good things, man. There's always that group or individual that messes it up for everybody involved.
Yeah, that's the part. It's the greed, bro. It's the greed and the human factor. The human factor is always gonna have that greed thing, like so. You know, when you find these opportunities, you take your opportunity, you do right by them so that you don't have their account closed and that you can always do business with them. But yeah, like them cutting the checks that they were cutting like 2 years ago, like bro, I could have went to Navy Federal and got $100,000 every 6 months from them.
Damn, bro. Yeah, that's definitely a cheat code right there. That's a hack and a half.
I think X monetization is a prime example of people being too greedy.
oh my God, when people were like major reply guys, and I'm like, dude, have a life where they would
I
do
mean,
literally 3,000 replies in a day. And but like, some people were like, it made sense though, because like there's some people making 3 grand every 2 weeks, and for some people that's a ton of money, right? I mean, it's quite a bit of money for me too, but like that's they could just live off of that, and they're just like, okay, I'll just be on a computer. And then people started going to like making AI replies and really ruined it for everybody.
Hey, any amount of money being made off of social media platforms, a lot of money to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, just the fact that people got paid in the first place to just, you know,
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
yeah, to do your
yeah, bro.
daily.
The only reason why I got on Twitter was because of that. It was because of that monetization. And as soon as I figured it out, it took me 3 months to get monetized. So it happened pretty quick. So, if you can create that paycheck just off of just, doing, you're gonna go on this anyways. So just creating the engagement off of just doing what you're doing anyways, then it's a free paycheck. And this is a snowball effect. So as you grow this account, you grow your YouTube account, you can grow your Twitch account, you can start growing other accounts. You start becoming a little bit better to the game. You can start selling accounts. Like the door opens up for you for knowing how to do this.
Absolutely. And another thing that's good about with the reply guys and people no longer being around, if you're making quality content and growing, people are coming and engaging with you because of your content, and they're always going to, you're building a base and a community that you're going to stick with. The reply people aren't a community. They're not going to be there. So as you grow and have better content and build up and learn what works and what doesn't work, over time, it's just going to keep growing and it's going to be better. And the people around you are going to grow and be better with you.
Yeah, you create more quality around your people for sure.
For sure. You
Yeah.
telling me, John, you don't like to see half your comment section saying nice, good job, wow.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Which I'm fine with
Hey,
people
bro,
doing
my
it,
favorite
but
my
like,
favorite one
it's
is
just
those people
hilarious to
that
see.
when you look on their profile, it's this or that, hot or cold, fucking hot dogs or hamburgers. You know
Yo,
what
those are the best ones. Those are the best ones because you just say both of them. Yo, I like hot dogs and hamburgers at the same time. Like because it's the most stupidest thing. Like you're basically separating two things that are enjoyable. That's the gimmick of it. So when somebody chooses one or other, you know, just shows them that you're biased. Yeah, it shows a lot of bias in people.
Yeah, that
Put the
shit's
words
crazy.
together and make one word.
For real, bro. Yeah, that and the night and good night. Yeah, bro. There's some people that their whole motherfucking timeline is good night, good morning, X, good night, good morning, X. Like, damn, bro, that's it. Like, that's crazy, bro. That's
Yeah,
a
but
I
you got to
like some of
realize
the
it's
troll
hard. It's
accounts
hard for
that
these.
did that stuff. Like
Say it again,
Greg,
brother.
Greg, like he used to like he would say good night and good morning just to like kind of troll people and piss people off, and it was like great.
Oh yeah,
Like
if you could get people
I loved
pissed, that's
those
better.
accounts because it just made me laugh to read the comment section. Like, oh my gosh, they're so mad.
But once you learn how to defeat ChatGPT, because a lot of people don't understand that ChatGPT falls into your own bias. So whatever you keep on putting into ChatGPT, like if you keep saying, like if you don't have a hypocritical stance against ChatGPT, it will just keep feeding you whatever the fuck you want it to, whatever you want to hear, whatever it thinks it wants you to hear. So when you learn how to defeat that mechanism, like you realize that a lot of people are gonna give you the ChatGPT engagement, and then when you defeat it, they look stupid. And then, like he said, you build a genuine following of real people because people don't want to see the bullshit, bro. Like we see it a lot.